ps5 we haven't dared to consider.
What in all yarns be the happened to him?
Harness it.
Save this world.
Hi Real Gamers. Welcome to the Unreal Gamer Gaming channel. Today's video is about best realistic games released in 2022. The best graphical realistic games included this video. If you are real or Unreal Gamer, you have played or you should play these insane games. Be with me end of this video. Let's go to the today video. God of War Ragnarok is an action-adventure game developed by Santa Monica Studio and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. It was released worldwide for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 on November 9, 2022, marking the first cross-gen release for the God of War series. It is the sequel to 2018's God of War and the 9th installment in the series, and chronologically the 9th installment. Based on Norse mythology, the game is set in ancient Scandinavia and features the series' protagonists, Kratos and his teenage son Atreus. Closing out the Norse era of the show, the game deals with Ragnarok, an apocalyptic event central to Norse mythology and predicted to occur after Kratos killed the Aesir god Baldur in the previous game. The gameplay is similar to the previous 2018 installment. It features combo-based combat, as well as puzzle and role-playing elements. The gameplay has been revamped from the previous game. In addition to Kratos' main weapons, a magical battle axe and his double-chained blades, he also acquires a magical spear, and his shield has become more versatile, with different types of shields that have differing offensive and defensive abilities. His son Atreus, as well as some other characters, provide assistance in combat and can be passively controlled. Additionally, and for the first time in the series, there are some story missions where the player takes full control of Atreus. His gameplay is similar to Kratos, but he uses his magical bow as his weapon. There are also more enemy types and mini-bosses than in the previous game. Originally slated for a 2021 release, the game was delayed in part due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on development and Kratos actor Christopher Judge's health problems in August 2019. Ragnarok garnered universal acclaim from critics and was praised for its storytelling, characters, visuals, level design, and overall improvements to the gameplay over its predecessor. It is currently a nominee for Game of the Year at the Game Awards 2022, among many other nominations. The game was a commercial success, selling 1 million units in its first week, becoming the fastest-selling first-party game in PlayStation history. God of War Ragnarok is a third-person action-adventure video game. It presents the game cinematically in one continuous shot, without camera cuts or loading screens, while still having the camera off your shoulder. The gameplay is similar to its predecessor God of War 2018, and like this game is single-player only. Throughout the game, players battle Norse mythology enemies with more enemy types than in the previous game. In addition to enemies found in the previous game, several new enemy types include Einhager, wyverns, stalkers, centaur-like creatures with horns, phantoms, human attackers, and knock and dodge. The developer also added more mini-bosses to add variety to the game.
Here. Are you coming with us?
You'll get your answer soon enough. Well, some of them.
Number 2. Saints Row. Saints Row is an action-adventure video game developed by Volition and published by Deep Silver. This is a reboot of the Saints Row series and his fifth main installment after 2013's Saints Row 4. Released on August 23, 2022 for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, and Google Stadia. Set in the fictional town of Santo Isoleso, loosely based in Las Vegas, the single-player story follows his group of 4 friends who form their own outlaw gang called the Saints from the city. The game is played from a third-person perspective, and its world is traveled on foot or by car. Players can fight enemies with a variety of firearms and other tools, and can summon non-playable gang members to help their enemies. Similar to previous Saints on his Row titles, the player controls the leader of the gang. The leader of this gang is called the Boss, with highly customizable traits. Outside of the main his story, the player is free to explore Santo his Arresto and participate in various side his activities. Cooperative online, his multiplayer mode is also included, allowing 2 players to advance their own game while single his campaigns can be played together. The developers of Saints Row intended the game to return to the blend of drama and comedy seen in previous games in the series. Following the August 2021 announcement, the Saints Row elicited mixed reactions from fans, some of whom expressed concerns about the game's tone. Ultimately, it received mixed reviews from critics for numerous technical issues, writing, and feel elements of the gameplay being outdated. The game's response prompted Volition's parent company, his Embracer Group, to announce that Volition would become part of Gearbox Entertainment.
You should buckle up.
Kevin! Get the fuck away from my friends.
Number 3. A Plague Tale Requiem. The Plague Tale Requiem is an action-adventure survival horror stealth video game, developed by Asobo Studio and published by Focus Entertainment. This is the sequel to Plague Tale Innocence, 2019, in which the brothers must explore the south of France in search of a cure for Hugo's blood disease while escaping hordes of Inquisition soldiers and rats spreading the plague. Follows Amisha and Hugo Drunin. The game was released on October 18, 2022 for Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, Windows and Xbox Series XS. The Nintendo Switch and Xbox One versions are cloud-based titles. Like its predecessor, Requiem is an action-adventure game played from a third-person perspective. In the game, the player must take control of Amisha and face both French Inquisition soldiers and hordes of rats spreading the Black Plague. The gameplay is almost identical to the first game, but the combat system has been greatly expanded. Amisha is equipped with weapons such as knives to stab enemies, slingshots to throw rocks, and crossbows that can easily take down armored enemies. Crossbow bolts, throwers, and stones can be combined with alchemical concoctions, in addition to ignifer and extinguis, which allow players to ignite and extinguish flames respectively. The game introduces tar, a light source, with a larger radius that can be used to ignite enemies. Requiem also has larger locations, giving players additional options for progression. Stealth is enhanced in Requiem. Unlike Innocence, Amisha does not die once attacked by an enemy. She can also hide after being spotted by an enemy to block her attacks, as she gets too close to them. Amisha's younger brother Hugo, who is related to the plague, can use the ability Echo to know the location of enemies through walls. Hugo can also control hordes of rats to overwhelm his enemies. As in the first game, shy rats play an important role in the game. Amisha and Hugo need to be in the light. Otherwise, the mice will eat you. Amisha uses rats to her advantage, being able to manipulate them into solving puzzles and even tricking them into killing their enemies. Number 4. Ghostwire Tokyo. Ghostwire Tokyo is a 2022 action-adventure game developed by Tango Gameworks and published by Bethesda Softworks. The game was released worldwide on March 25, 2022 for his 1 year. Exclusive on PlayStation 5 and Windows. Developer Tango Gameworks. Publisher is Bethesda Softworks. Ghostwire Tokyo is a first-person action-adventure game Players can use a variety of psychic and paranormal abilities to defeat the ghosts and spirits that haunt Tokyo. Fight director Shinichiro Hara described the fight as karate meets magic, as the player character casts spells using hand gestures inspired by the Fujikiri's hand gestures. When an enemy loses most of its health, the core is exposed and the player can use a takedown move to destroy the enemy. By defeating these spirits and collecting yokai, characters accumulate spirit points and resources, which they use to improve their abilities. In June 2019, at Bethesda Softworks E3 2019 press conference, Shinji Mikami and creative director Kumi Nakamura announced Ghostwire Tokyo, an action-adventure game with horror elements. Nakamura subsequently resigned from Tango Gameworks in September 2019, leaving the studio after 9 years. Unlike the Evil Within series of video games, Ghostwire is primarily an action-adventure game, not a survival horror game. However, the game contains some horror themes and elements. Shinichiro Hara, who worked on the Battle of Doom 216, joined Tango to help the team shape the game's action-oriented combat. According to him, the game's combat, which was heavily influenced by Fujikiri and martial arts, allowed the team to bring more movement and personality to the player's actions because the player's hands are an organic extension of the character. The game uses his Unreal Engine 4. Number 5. The Last of Us Remastered Version. After its December 2011 announcement, The Last of Us was highly anticipated. Released for PlayStation 3 in June 2013. It received critical acclaim, with praise for its story, gameplay, graphics, sound design, score, characterization, and portrayal of female characters. The Last of Us has become one of his best-selling video games, selling over 1.3 million copies in his first week, and over 17 million by the April 2018 Game Awards. It has been called one of the greatest video games of all time. Naughty Dog has released several downloadable content supplements. The Last of Us Left Behind adds a single-player her campaign that follows Ellie and her best friend Riley. A remastered version of The Last of Us Remastered was released for PlayStation 4 in July 2014, and a remake of The Last of Us Part that was released for PlayStation 5 in September 2022 and is in development for Windows. After its December 2011 announcement, The Last of Us was highly anticipated. Released for PlayStation 3 in June 2013. It received critical acclaim, with praise for its story, gameplay, graphics, sound design, score, characterization, and portrayal of female characters. The Last of Us has become one of his best-selling video games, selling over 1.3 million copies in his first week, and over 17 million by the April 2018 Game Awards. It has been called one of the greatest video games of all time. Naughty Dog has released several downloadable content. Number 6. Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West is a 2022 action RPG developed by Guerrilla Games and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. The game is the sequel to 2017's Horizon Zero Dawn and is set in a post-apocalyptic version of the western United States recovering from the aftermath of an extinction event caused by swarms of rogue robots. The player can explore the open world and use ranged and melee weapons to complete quests against enemy mechanical creatures. Horizon Forbidden West released for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 on February 18, 2022, to generally positive reviews. The Burning Shores expansion will be released on April 19, 2023. Horizon Forbidden West is an action role-playing game played from a third-person perspective. Players control Aloy, a hunter in a world inhabited by dangerous animal machines. In the open world, she explores the mysterious frontier known as the Forbidden West. The Forbidden West is a post-apocalyptic version of the American West, specifically California, Nevada, and Utah. The map is wider than its predecessor. Exploration has been improved with new underwater discovery and improved combat with tools such as the Valor Surge System, Freeform, climbing, shield wings, focus scanner, diving mask, and pole caster. The quest mission structure better supports different objectives with an attractive reward system. Horizon Forbidden West continues the story of Aloy, Ashley Birch, a young hunter of the Nora tribe and clone of old world scientist Elizabeth Sobek. Traveling through these unknown lands, Aloy encounters new regions ravaged by island storms and deadly machines, and comes into conflict with the tribe. of nomadic raiders who have tamed machines as war mounts. Discover different environments and ecosystems, including lush canyons, arid deserts, snow-capped mountains, tropical beaches, ruined cities, and underwater worlds.
No barrier I won't cross. This mission is mine alone. If I falter, if I fail, there won't be anyone left to stop what's coming. Comes. I will be ready.
Number 7. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is a 2022 first-person shooter developed by Infinity Ward and published by Activision. This is the sequel to his 2019 reboot and serves as his 19th installment in the entire Call of Duty series. Released for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, Windows and Xbox One. Xbox Series XS on October 28, 2022. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 key type. Like its predecessor, the game takes place in a realistic and modern setting. The campaign follows Multinational Task Force 141 and Mexican Special Forces Los Vaqueros in an attempt to track down Iranian Quds Force Major and terrorist Hassan Johnny, who is in possession of a US ballistic missile. His main playable characters in the game are Task Force 141's Johnny, Soap Matavish and Kyle Gosgaric. The multiplayer mode runs on a new version of the EU engine, supports cross-platform multiplayer, and offers a free battle royale mode. Warzone 2.0, the sequel to the original Warzone. Modern Warfare 2 introduces several design improvements and gameplay changes to the series, including B. Advanced AI system, water physics, swimming mechanics, overhauled vehicle system and campaign in co-op modes. New gameplay features and movement tactics include prone diving, hanging mantles and ledges, and removing slide restraints. New gameplay features for vehicles include leaning out vehicle windows, climbing vehicle roofs, and hijacking. It also features weapon platforms to branch out progression and cut down on replays, as well as a practice shooting range. Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer has several new game modes. In a prisoner rescue, the attacking team attempts to extract the hostage, while the defending team prevents it by building up defenses around the hostage. Number 8. Spider-Man Remastered. Spider-Man Remastered. Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered is the remastered version of the 2018 PlayStation 4 game. The game and subsequent remaster for PlayStation 5 was developed by Insomniac Games, while the PC version was developed by Nix's Software and published by PlayStation PC. Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered is the first traditional Spider-Man game to be released on PC since 2014's The Amazing Spider-Man 2. The PC version is improved in various aspects compared to the PlayStation 5 version. For example, better shadows, better ray trace reflections, which are full resolution instead of half-res, and ray trace reflections can include more objects, false sliders, HBAO+, FSR2, 1, ZES, DLSS2 and 3, GLA, ultra-widescreen support, improved texture filtering, unlocked frame rates. Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered was released on August 12, 2022, almost 2 years after it was first released for the PlayStation 5 in 2020. The PC version was well received by reviewers, praising it as a high-quality port, but criticizing it for suboptimal performance on some hardware configurations. In some scenarios, the game was found to be quite CPU-intensive, especially during iterations and when ray trace reflections were enabled. 4 days before his release, Nix's Software implemented significant performance improvements, ray tracing fixes, expanded graphics options for ray tracing, traffic density and crowd density, addressing most of the issues. Number 9. Metal Hellsinger. Elsenger is a rhythmic first-person shooter developed by Swedish developer The Outsiders for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS. It will be released by Fancom and will be released on September 15, 2022. The game combines elements of first-person shooter and rhythm games, but particular references to the rebooted Doom franchise. As the player navigates the demonic game world, they are confronted with demonic robes, accompanied by a heavy metal score. When the attack syncs to the beat of the music, the player deals additional damage, and additional instruments join the tune as the combo meter increases. This meter can also be activated by performing other actions such as falling and reloading are synchronized. The speed is also represented by environmental elements such as fire, animations that the game describes as the natural rhythm of the universe. Completing additional challenge levels called torments unlocks power-ups. The game also utilizes elements of the Dan Macker genre, with several battles having a large number of projectiles on the battlefield. The player is highly manipulative, and in the air he can double jump and lunge forward, just like in Doom Eternal. Manipulation is key in these barrage segments. The game is divided into 9 hell levels each, including tutorial. It culminates in a boss battle against the game's antagonist, Judge's Flank. Number 10. Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights is an action role-playing game developed by WB Games, Montreal and published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment in 2022. DC Comics characters inspired by the Batman. Gotham Knights comic series based on his Batman and his supporting cast. The game focuses on Nightwing, Batgirl, Robin, and Red and his Hood characters and seeks to revive Gotham City in an era of decline after Batman's death. Investigating the events leading up to their mentor's death, the heroes find themselves drawn into an ancient conflict between two secret societies fighting for control of Gotham, the Court of Owls and the Shadow League. Developed in Unreal Engine 4, game modes single player and multiplayer. Gameplay is presented from a third-person perspective and primarily uses each playable character's movements and combat skills to defeat enemies and explore the environment. Focus on. Players can freely move around their Gotham City, interact with characters, complete missions, and earn experience points and other resources to enhance their characters and equipment. Outside the story, the player can complete his side missions to unlock additional content and collections. The cooperative online his multiplayer mode is also included, allowing two players to advance their own game while single his campaigns can be played together. Gotham Knights was first announced at the DC fandom in August 2020 and released for PlayStation 5, Windows and Xbox Series XS on October 21, 2022. A version for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One was also planned, but was eventually cancelled. The game received mixed reviews from critics, along with criticism of the overall gameplay design and story, although the co-op mode and characterization of the protagonist was praised.
He saw the future of Gotham. Remember, everything he was is within you. And everything he could never be is why you'll be so much more. It's your time now.